Hello,
Welcome,
everyone.
welcome back to our empowerment podcast.
Yeah, good to have you here.
My name is Christina,
I'm Xander.
and we share with you a little bit about our lives as an avatar master. And today we announced it already in the last podcast, and we thought it's a nice topic. It's about criticism and how we can turn criticism into empowerment, which seems like a good idea, but unbelievable hard.
Yeah, it's like when you get criticized, or as some of us know very well, we criticize ourselves all the time. Turning that into actually being empowered to go for it, that sometimes feels like magic to me,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah.
It feels like a little blurry how to get there. We know it would be great, but how to get there? And
Yeah,
we
and yeah,
don't
go
have
ahead.
the answer.
No, we're learning. We're learning, making mistakes along the way.
And we hope you don't stop watching us now or listening to us, but we can share some examples. And I can start. I had a situation in my job, which I'm doing already not so long. I do a new job and it's a year and I had to build up things. And I can tell you that I got a lot of feedback on the way the last month, and not everything went well. And I really fucked up things where I normally know how to do it. And I really didn't do it in a good way, or it didn't work out in a good way. And I'm somebody who always want to do it good. So that's my approach. But it's a little difficult to learn something new without wanting to make something wrong. I mean, that's impossible. And I did something wrong. And I can't exactly tell the situation. But my colleague and me were standing in front of it and looking at it. And it was so easy to say it was your fault. And she could have said it was my fault. But she's my friend. And we both were like, we knew we are like already very exhausted about the work and everything was too much. So I said to her, oh, that's something I didn't know. Maybe we can do it next time better. And she said it too, like, oh, I maybe I have overseen something. But it was an atmosphere where we both could look at it without dumping us in the ground. What I know too in my life, like when I do something wrong, that I let myself feel that it was wrong. But the problem is, to come out of that again is very difficult when we once are very critical and very hard to ourselves. Good luck with feeling again empowered. It's almost impossible. And I wonder if we really learn the lesson behind where we can do better, where you just feel bad without learning what was it about. So I find it a very interesting area. How is it for you, Xander?
Yeah, I agree. I think when I relate myself to your situation, my automatic reaction, and I even wanted to ask you that question, how could you have avoided it? That is automatically already going into the direction I shouldn't have made the mistake. And I think that's a belief I really have in my mind. I shouldn't make mistakes, or mistakes are bad. And of course, mistakes are not necessarily good, but it's just the way I think a lot of us may be wired to look at mistakes as if, it's bad or we're bad. But actually, it's quite de-indoctrinating to look at something, look at a mistake. I remember I was recording something the other day, and we recorded it in a bad way because only one of the two of us was shown. And I already feel my reaction. Oh my God, we need to do it again, and it's bad and wrong. And I go downhill, and what happens for me then is I drop it. Maybe some other people, they start, okay, well, we'll do it better next time. But in this case, I decided to drop it. And I notice I go into this mode of wanting to avoid mistakes. And that's not empowering. I mean, you're right. How can you learn something when you aren't allowed to make mistakes? And I think people often say, you're allowed to make mistakes. But do we always feel that ourselves? I mean, I don't. And I guess when I actually recognize, oh, this was a mistake, and oh, I'm actually learning something, then it becomes sort of like, okay, that's what it was. And let's go through it. Let's go at it again, instead of needing to go first bash myself. You can just look at it and try again.
And what do you think is ingredients to change that? How do you change that?
It's a good question. I think for myself, I need to take a pause and not automatically react to the situation, but look at it again with someone. And I guess I sometimes don't acknowledge myself being in a learning process. I think I already should be able to do something, even though I've maybe never done it before. So I guess taking a pause and recognizing I'm in a learning process, that helps me, and that mistakes are part of that whole process, that's maybe even what learning is. I guess I never consciously related those two, that learning is actually making mistakes along the way before you can really do it consistently in a good way. So I guess that would help me. What about you?
I can have another example with a dog who's barking outside. I hear him. And I thought I know a lot about dogs, like always. I think already I know everything. And then I find out it's not the case. And it was the same with the dog. So since I have a dog, I learn, okay, there are a lot of things I have no clue about how to do that. What does it mean? Is he sick? Is he hungry? What does the sign means? And so on. And we are doing a lot of mistakes. And I can feel the tendency of also trying to avoid that or punish me, or I don't know. But the thing is, in my life, I have the tendency for not tackling things where I already can assume it could happen that I make a mistake, and that's very boring. So with a dog, I didn't have that. We just did it, and we make plenty of mistakes. And maybe it's sometimes also the allowance for not being perfect, because I was the one giving everyone tips, and now now I can't. Now I can just say, listen, I have no idea. Like being honest, being more self-reflective about and also not being so hard to others who are making mistakes, because that's what I also good in, like judging others for, have you seen how they did that? I mean, they could think the same about me, being a little bit more compassionate and patient. I think this could be a step towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I'm listening to you, what comes to mind is sometimes my ego just gets a hit from that mistake. And like that, my ego wants to be perfect and wants to do it all right. But on the other hand, it brings a little bit of humility also in it. And that's what I think it may, with you and the dog also, that it's relaxing, that you relax, that you are actually where you are, and we're not in a different place or farther than we are. We're just where we are, and we want to move forward.
And it's also not goes into the opposite, like that everything is always okay. I mean, we can get feedback and we can improve and we can find things where we have to adjust ourselves, but it can be also without all this harshness and I don't know, violence with ourselves and others, with words or whatever, attitudes. Like, how do you apply feedback and get better and take it as an empowerment? That's a step. I mean, you can't also avoid feedback in general.
Yeah. Well, you could, close yourself off from everybody and
Sorry.
yeah. But that's well, if you want to live that life, good for you. But I guess that's not what we would want. And I maybe also what I got from my life is I was in school, then I started doing university, and that's where you learn things. And of course, you need to learn things afterwards. But I guess I've always applied learning together with school, while actually we could view the rest of our lives as a whole learning process. And it's more maybe also the questions, what do we actually want to learn in this moment?
Right. Yeah. And then it's maybe never finished. There's not
Never
some,
finished. Yeah.
okay, a check mark, and then we do the next, like
Yeah,
becoming
and then we do the next thing.
ongoing process without pressure and criticalness, which is sabotaging us in the end.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a good attitude. And that's something I'm working on.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Me too. I thought I'd flip the switch, but I guess even having a learning attitude is something also to learn, something to keep putting in, and also be aware of when I'm not in it, and when I get critical, or when I think I am perfect, when I actually am just where I am, and yeah, would like to grow into a better person who can do more things.
True. Great. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Christina. Thanks for everybody for watching and listening.
Yeah, and if you let us know if you want to have more episodes, because we just had now a trial of a few,
Yeah,
and about
learning along the way.
yeah, we're learning. And if you want to listen to us, keep listening to us, or have any feedback, or yeah, we take any feedback.
Yeah,
Have some.
any feedback, and we would love to hear from you. If you got inspired, if not, whatever you want to share, we'd be very happy to hear.
Right. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.